There is going to be a big split on captaincy this game week, which means no matter what captain you pick, they're going to be a bit of a differential, and that comes when we feel like we need it the most right at the end of the season. First up on the shortlist is Haaland against Bournemouth at home, and City do have something to play for. Watkins and Palmer's opponents both play in the Europa League against each other, which means they should be rotating in the Premier League, and we've all seen how poor that Spurs defence is when they rotate, and United hasn't been much better either. All three players have got the home advantage. Salah's not against Brighton, but he would be on the shortlist if he wasn't on the beach with Liverpool, and I do mean that literally. They are on the beach. I think they need to be reminded that they've got a Premier League game coming up because they might have forgot. Taking a look at the non-penalty stats per 90 minutes for this season, this is probably the tightest the shortlist has ever been. To be honest, it does help that Haaland and Palmer have had a big drop-off, especially Palmer's output. At the start of the season, we never would have imagined Watkins going toe-to-toe with Haaland in terms of output, but he has done. To be fair, he's overperformed his underlying stats. Haaland and Palmer go neck and neck on those underlying stats, but Haaland does get one less point for every goal scored, and in the XG calculations as well, that also applies to Watkins, so Palmer's not really making the most of that points advantage. Another advantage he's got is set pieces. He takes direct free kicks, plus some indirect free kicks and corners, and he's 100% nailed on pens. Watkins isn't nailed on pens. He's actually less than 50% likely to take a penalty if Villa get one awarded. He doesn't take any free kicks or corners either. Haaland does take the occasional direct free kick, and he is nailed on pens as well. Taking a look at the probability, Haaland's got the highest anytime goal scorer odds, and Watkins only trails by 1%. I know Palmer's behind on that one, but he more than compensates for it on the anytime assist odds. He's miles ahead on that market, and when you combine them both together, he's also got the highest chance of returning, but the other two players have also got their odds weighted more towards goals. At the same time, like I mentioned earlier, Palmer gets an additional 20% of the points every time he scores. So in my opinion, he's comfortably got the best odds, and he's got the highest points projections as well. He's got 7.9 on FPL review, which is quite a margin over the other two players, and he's still quite far ahead on Fantasy Football Fix as well with 6.6. By comparing the opposition's defence, we can see that Haaland's by far got the most difficult fixture on the shortlist, especially with Spurs and United probably rotating for this fixture because of the Europa League final. It's not just the stats that reflect that, it's the clean sheet odds as well. Bournemouth are travelling to the Etihad against one of the best attacks in the league. We can quite comfortably say they're better than Villa and Chelsea at attacking, but Spurs and United have got lower clean sheet odds. Before we conclude, we're going to carry out a quick risk assessment. Watkins and Palmer have had roughly a week's worth of recovery, and they both played 90 minutes in the last match. Palmer's typically a 90-minute man. Watkins hasn't been this season, but Rashford's not available, so he should be for this match. But there is still a little bit of risk in his expected minutes compared to Palmer. And that's same for Haaland as well. He's got 3 days worth of rest before this fixture, and we're not really sure how many minutes he's going to play in that FA Cup final. It should be at least 90, and it could even be 120. There is a little bit more risk though with Haaland because we don't know if he's going to play up to 120 minutes, and we won't know that before the deadline. Plus he's got the more difficult fixture against Bournemouth, so he's my third favourite option out of the three. It's so close between Watkins and Palmer. They both face these potentially rotated defences with the home advantage. Watkins has got the higher output, and Palmer's got the more promising underlying stats, which I do value more by the way. He's also got higher points projections and the most favourable odds, plus the additional point for every goal scored and the potential clean sheet point as well. So I think the best captain this game week is Palmer. Make sure you subscribe if you've not already so you don't miss any pre-season content for next season.